What I'm trying to say is that even when I was small, I felt loneliness revealing itself to me slowly like a kind of gift. The more beautiful the world became, the more I felt I was alone. I didn't recognize that the tugging in my chest, the sadness in the breeze was the overture, the opening hum of fire for your entrance, because, well, to say it another way, I knew that someone was trying to pinch me from across the ocean every time I visited the beach. I'm not sure who else knows about you. Maybe everyone has a kiss waiting for you. But who are you? I've tried many times to catch you with my dreams, to feel you ghostly in my arms and be danced around an empty room. I have listened for your voice in the dead of night by the screen window without decoding the timbre of your voice from the symphony of crickets. Who are you? I began to train myself in secret. I was convinced that you would come, riding your horse out of the forest or putting a hand on my shoulder in the darkness of night. I began to sharpen my eyes to recognize you in all the masks you might wear. You might arrive in any disguise at any instant to test my worthiness. I pray to you to send you messages hoping they will reach you. Will you please arrive soon and steal a kiss from my lips? It is waiting. Only one time in my prayer I believe I heard a reply. I was very young, so now it seems like an old dream once you've been awake for a few minutes as it begins to slip from you. But I managed to scorch the most important details of it in my memory so I could not lose you. Your voice was just a whisper, like the buzz of small wings. At first I felt my nipples begin to itch as if from a small tear on the inside. Then words seemed to slide down my ear. Something in the darkness was smiling at me. I believe I heard you say these words. I am the child who will cut you open. Why in the hell would someone cast their dreams out to the cold, crashing waves and hope for some sort of answer? What kind of desperate idiocy is that? That's a fairy tale only a pony-headed princess like me would have believed that age. Well, I learned my lesson. You see, I was a green lad too. It's not much of a walk from pony-headed princess to green lad. This is what happens to green lads. They get caught in nets! It's terrible, but it happens all the time. Free at last. On his face I've ever seen. Can a naivety like that stick on a puss like this? I was happy to hide the city when the time came for that part of the story. For hundreds of nights, I kept the same routine. I came home after dark, sat on the edge of my bed, in my underwear, looking out at the rooftops of the city glowing under the light-stained sky. The city is loud, and the stars are too far away. Some nights I read before going to bed. Newspapers, Bibles, book mail, poems, horoscopes, randomly selected pages from old appointment books, children's stories, pornography, personal ads, and a stack of business cards that were given to me by people I hardly remembered. Anything that might help me crawl towards sleep. Once, I planted some mint in a wooden flower box on the fire escape. But the high-rise under construction across the street rained Dunkin' Donuts cups and crumbs of cement onto it. It was an unsuitable place to raise mint. So one night, I took my mint out of the box and ate all the leaves. I did it quickly, so I wouldn't have to think about it. But the taste stayed in my nose. A silver green song. Green, green, green. Just like me.
Music.
I worked all over the city at different times, but always quit after a month or two, even if I liked the job. I lived the life of a secret agent, leaving as little evidence of my existence as possible. I ate my lunch during meetings, or at my desk while working, leaving me out of conversation altogether. After work, I took great joy in walking through crowded sidewalks or sitting in public places while throngs of people passed by. This way, I could sift through the city's possibilities, keeping my eye on the horizon. This was my real job. This was my real job. I combed through hundreds of parties and nightclubs, searching for the Neverboy, knowing that he was testing me, playing hide and seek, tiptoeing just out of my grasp. I stared at boys from shadows and tried to recognize a gesture or a way of laughing, anything that might trigger a reflex. I approached these boys with a face like a well-dressed question mark. Sometimes I bought them a drink, or they bought me a drink, and we flirted in a confusion of mismatched intentions, like lovers who don't speak the same language. The questions they brought to me seemed straightforward. What's your name?
You look like you work out a lot, do you?
Do you want a drink? Another?
Another? What work do you do?
Do you live near here? Do you live alone? Are you single?
What's your type?
Are you clean? Do you party a lot?
Can I get your number?
However, these were poor translations of other questions.
Can you tell I'm very attracted to you?
Does my flirting disgust you, delight you? Or worst of all, are you totally indifferent to me, barely aware of me right before your eyes? Will you infect me with a disease, an addiction, a hunger I cannot control?
Can I share my secrets with you? Will you share yours with me?
Do you have any fetishes? Do I qualify as one of them? In sex, will we be immediately compatible, or will there be lessons to teach each other first?
Do you long for a former lover,
Obscuring me before I even tell you my name? Usually I excuse myself deeper, or usually I excuse myself and disappear deeper into the bar, or in emergencies, the street. The most discouraging of these episodes ended with an attempt at sex.
which should have been the final and glorious proof of the possible Pan's authenticity, but instead concluded in a timid and apology-ridden disappointment.